Let's go to my plant here. Let me just pull up the plant here. I'll just do a solo button on both plants. So once the coffee machine come in, I want the plant to kind of reveal from the back and then wave down like this one here. Let me go to my effects and presets panel here, and then let's search for CC Bandit. Let me just double click on here. We'll just do a CC Bandit effects, and I need to set up the start and end position of the leaf. So for the start, it has to be at the bottom of the leaf. So click on the start, set it here. This is going to be the bottom, and then the end would be the top. So I'll just do here. And now I can actually just bend it like this. So for the end position, I'm not setting it to be really close to the leaf, because if we do that, it'll be cutting it off. So I need to pull this end position away a little bit more to reveal the whole area. Now that's good. So we want to animate these plants after the coffee machine is landing here. So maybe around this time here, I'll drag these two layers out forward a little bit more so that it's coming in from this time stamp here. Let's go to plant 1. I'll just add a keyframe for the bend. So at the beginning, the first original position, I want everything to be hidden behind the machine, and then go 20 frames. I'll just reveal it like this. This is going to be my final position, which is 0. And let's go select 2 keyframes, easy ease, go to the graph editor. So for the anticipation, we're not seeing at the start, so I'll just drag out an S-curve here. And then for the overshoot, in this case, this plant is really just, I want it to swing back and forth gently, so it doesn't have to be stopping. So in this case, we're not doing a overshoot as a traditional overshoot. We're actually adding more movement. So it could be treated as a animation for this thing to oscillate back and forth. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to add 10 frames, go for 10 frames instead of just traditional overshoot. We only do like 4 frames, 2 frames. I wanted to go over the position a bit more. We already moved forward 10 frames, add a keyframe here, and then I can drag this one down. So it's actually going over gently and then swinging back. So let me go to the timeline here. I actually want this thing to maybe move a bit more like this. So move like this, and then go back to around here, and then maybe go forward a bit more, move down, and then go forward again, move up. It's just gonna keep oscillating in these values. See, that's even with 10 frames, it still feel too fast. So I need to move these keyframes out further away from each other so like we can smooth out the movement a bit more. I'm selecting everything and then hold down Option on the keyboard to drag this one, because for the plant, it's really gentle, it's moving really slow. So we want to spread out the keyframes so it's a timing difference. There's an issue over here. I think the value is too much. So over here, from this value, -31 to -56. So this value here is too much. So let's go maybe like -40 or something. And then the final value. So we're not stopping at 0 in this case, because when I put it to 0, I feel like this 0 is not going to be my final position. It looks weird here. It still not feel rested. So the final bend position might be around -34, or like let's do -30, 38. I don't know. Maybe that's going to work. And I'll pull these frames back a little bit more to close the gap over here in the first 2 keyframes. I still feel like maybe when it comes in, it's still too fast. So still, I need to pull these one back. And then we can go inside the first 2 keyframes to make sure my S-curve is not too exaggerated. Just pull these one back so we can have a really gentle, that's pretty gentle. So after I change the curve, maybe in this case, I can move this one back to close the timing a bit more. So now, I think that looks okay now. So it's just going down here, and then slightly moving. That's good. So that's the case. Let's just quickly do the plan 2 here. Let's just do the keyframe first, and then let's copy the easing. So in this case, I'll just do a bandit, and then the start will be the end of the plant, and then the end will be the top, the tip. And then for this one, I'll do a keyframe over here at the beginning, hit U on the keyboard. Let me just pull this one all the way back. I need to move the position in a little bit more, like this, and then change the start over here. Okay, if I pull the start over here, it's going to be hidden. We already have the banded, and then for the first frame here, I'll just shoot it outside like this, go back a little bit, come forward a bit more, slightly just resting in position here. Okay, that's cool. And then let me go to my ease copy. So I'll just copy these values and paste in the value on these keyframes. Yeah, I think that's okay. That's pretty cool. That feels more natural, right? And now you can tell like a lot of the things we do, they're all just kind of like related. So it's a set of workflow that you can actually apply to a lot of different things, even in various settings. For example, we have the same kind of animation on similar objects, and then once we do an offset, it's actually making it look more realistic. So I like this thing here that's waving back and forth. That's pretty cool. I'll call that done for the plant. And now let's do the cup here. Let me pull this one, add in the cup. We have the cup here, and then for the cup, I wanted to just go in from here and then land here and then get some coffee and then move out of the way. So if we analyze that motion, we have coffee machine come in, plants come in, and then from this point, maybe I want the cup to come in. So I'll go to P for position, go right click, separate dimensions, go to reposition anchor point to be at the bottom of the cup. And also I want it to move slightly to the left so that it's in the center of the cup instead of the center of the layer. Now that's good. So let me hit a keyframe on X position. At the beginning, it's going to be outside. Go for 20 frames. Go here. It's going to be coming in like this. And then we'll do a Y position. Hit the Y position. At this point, I want it to drop down, stayed here. So let's do 10 frames because it's traveling a short distance in this case. So 10 frames coming, drop down. And then that's going to be my full animation for now in this portion. I'm going to just finalize this one here, easy ease, and then let's go to the graph editor, go to the position, and then for this one, what I also want to do is I also want to add some rotation. So let's hit Shift R for rotation. Let me go back to the timeline again. Let me add rotation first. So at the beginning, when it's coming in, I want it to maybe come in like this with an angle, right? And then once they stop here, once they land, it'll go back to 0. So something like this, when it's coming in, there's a slight angle to it so that it's kind of making more sense. Almost like someone is grabbing it to put it in, but you can't see the hand. So it would have an angle to it. It gives us a more realistic vibe to it. So that's good. Let me just select everything, easy ease it, go to the graph editor. Let me just work on the X position first. For the X position, I'll just do an S curve. And then we need a little bit overshoot. So let's do 2 frames, or maybe let's see how we can synchronize all these 3 different things together. Let's do a 3 keyframe overshoot. So in this case, I don't want to add too many overshoot because we already have all these 3 values happening at the same time. The more keyframe, the harder the control. So in this case, I'll just do a slight overshoot. Maybe it's going over a little bit. Let me just zoom in to go over a slight value here, very gentle. So it's moving in, but it's over. As it's going over, I just want a rotation overshoots once the X position overshoots. So basically, so it's going to go that direction, and then maybe the cup should come back to +3. So it's coming back to the other direction when it lands, and then it's going to land in a flat position. So there's a slight tweak in rotation here before it lands. So almost like the cup is repositioning itself to try to go back to a flat position before it lands. So we're adding a slight overshoot on the rotation and the X position. So let's go to the rotation. I want to drag the curve a little bit more. Just make it, I need to click on this, convert it to Auto Bezier, and then drag the curve to get an S curve like this. So this is going to be my overshoot in the cup rotation here. And then over here, I'll have this cup just land here. I feel like this part, I might not want it to be completely flat. Let's try to give it an angle here. I think it makes more sense for it to not rest because it's within the motion here. So I'll just give it a slight angle here. Move it down a bit more. Yeah, I think that works. So we have this one come in, it's going to rest like this.